So, guys, as a child, your parents would always tell you, always be careful what you put in your mouth, as in they don't want you to swallow stuff. Well, I have
No.
unfortunately swallowed something which I probably shouldn't have.
Go
I
on.
know, I know, I know that sounds really wrong, but just bear with me. So, when I was at university, I got my snakebite piercings in my first year of university, and so that was what 7 years ago. And then a couple of nights ago, while eating my dinner, I heard something fall on the floor. So I then look down to the floor and I see the end of my piercing has fell on the floor. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's just come off. And then I start rummaging around in my mouth, and I'm like, where's my other half of the piercing? So I'm looking around. I start chopping up all my food that's left on my plate, and I can't find the bar for my piercing. So ultimately, yeah, I've swallowed my piercing. I then phone up the doctors because it's potentially a sharp object, it's metal, and I work with magnets. I just wanted to be extra careful, and so they told me to go to A&E. As soon as I turned into A&E, I'm there. I was told you are number 112 in the queue. I was like, oh fuck me. So I'm there waiting at A&E. You got people their hands are twice the size. You got one lass there who's ghastly pale and puking everywhere. And then you've got me, an idiot there, who's basically swallowed a tiny metal object. I then get called up by the triage after 2 hours. I then tell them my problem, and they're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. You just got to wait for it to poo it out. So yeah, so that's probably been my most eventful story of the past 2 weeks.
No, I've just got this image in my head. Like, if I come near you with a magnet, I can just drag you around now. You've got metal in you.
I was joking about it to one of my friends because obviously I work with what's called a nuclear magnetic resonance, so a really high power super magnet. And I just had this thought of this piercing coming flying out of my stomach. You know that sort of impact from when Alien comes out your stomach.
About to say, wow, and it's just the metal.
Yeah, but then someone reassured me, like, don't worry, it will only be more like a bullet wound. I'm like, yeah, that's not exactly much more helpful.
All I suggest is don't get into a fight with Magneto, because he's got a one-up on you now.
He might be able to help me.
I can just go on.
Because every time, ever since I swallowed it, obviously, if I go to the toilet, I basically look down. Right, can I see something shiny? Nope. Okay. So so that was early, 3 or 4 days ago now. So even to right now, I don't know if if I still got it. Is it gone? I don't know.
What a delightful start to the episode.
Oh, gentlemen, what are we gonna do with you, Brandon?
Don't worry, I'm just starting off this episode just full of shit.
Oh no, you're trying to get it out of you. That's the problem.
I'm venting it out my system.
So, Dan, what's the worst thing you've ever eaten? Is it worse than that?
What, the lasagna?
Still that lasagna.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Chris, what have you had in your mouth which you shouldn't have?
Does it
Possibly parts of my ex.
Oh, there we go. Oh, fucking hell. Welcome to Victory Achieved Podcast, a video game podcast. I'm Dan, and I'm with the greatest Metro player in Leicester, Chris, and
Hello.
the most eager person to play RuneScape for the past 2 weeks in Peterborough, Brandon.
Yes.
How
my goodness.
are we all, guys?
Yeah,
Well,
very
obviously,
well,
apart
thanks.
from the introduction, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. What about yourself, Dan?
Same old. Nothing really to say on my end.
That's going to be a very short podcast, eh?
I'll say I feel really uncomfortable when you say on your end because it's just
Why?
flashbacks of fucking piercing.
Stop thinking about your end, please. Can we move on?
So, I'm gonna get, because we didn't talk about it last time. Chris, talk about Until Dawn.
Okay, yes. So I was going to talk about Until Dawn in the Halloween episode, which would have been perfect timing, but no, it just never happened. So yeah, I recently streamed through the entire game. I hadn't played it before, and I thought it might be fun to let my Twitch chat like make decisions. So we made like the best decisions, and we only got every person in the game killed bar one, which I think is not bad going. But
What is Until Dawn? For those who
so
don't know.
Until Dawn is kind of like a interactive film. It's more sort of cutscenes. Think like Telltale's Walking Dead kind of gameplay, where action scenes are basically QTEs, and yeah, the way you play and make decisions, like if you mess up QTEs, determines like how the story unfolds. Basically, the game's about a group of kids who go to a cabin where last year they had a party and couple of their friends died. And there's like a basically serial killer going around. There's weird stuff going on in the woods, and you've basically just got to try and survive and keep everyone alive, which we failed spectacularly at. It was all right. I think gameplay-wise, it's a little bit too simplistic for my taste. Like, there's a lot of like me sitting around, not really doing anything, and just like pressing the odd X button every now and again, and that's pretty much your lot. Yeah, it's all right though. If you like horror films, stuff of that ilk, you might get a kick out of it.
Have you played the one they made after The Man of Medan?
No, and I know they've recently had another one out. Is it House of Ashes? I believe it's called.
No idea.
Oh,
they may have.
Actually, they've got one in between that as well. I think they're up to 4 now because they initially said it was going to be like a sort of anthology sort of thing. Called Dark Pictures, I believe it's called. But no, I haven't played the others. But from what I understand, they're all pretty much the same. It's like the same as like I mentioned before, like Telltale games. It's like the same formula. It's like copy and pasted. But I have yet to play them, so I have no idea if they're any good or not. But the thing is, games like that sort of live and die on how strong the story is. And I did not think the story in Until Dawn was all that great. I suppose it will play out differently depending on how you do, but it didn't really grip me. I could kind of see where it was going.
Yeah, I can see here you got obviously Until Dawn, then you have Man of Medan, then it's Little Hope, and then, as you mentioned, House of Ashes is the newest one.
Yeah, I can't say I'm in any rush to play the others soon. Maybe for like another Halloween stream, because it is good for like interactivity. If you, as I say, getting other people involved to like make decisions, like a sort of majority vote. But I can't say I'm in any rush, and I definitely won't pay for. I only got Until Dawn because it was on PS Plus years ago.
Yeah. Like from what I've heard of, like Man of Medan, it kind of does a lot of the same things Until Dawn does, but just not as good. I think.
Yeah, I don't think the storylines are strong or just make sense. Something along that ilk.
I don't know about the other two. I've not heard. I don't know anything about them. I didn't even realise there were another two until just now. But I know Man of Medan just did the same thing, just not as good as Until Dawn. But I have heard like kind of good things about Until Dawn, but I think it's, as you mentioned, like I think some of the decisions are quite maybe obvious on what you need to do to save people.
You can kind of see a pattern forming with a lot of these games. Like if you make a decision, chances are whatever you decide, the opposite outcome seems to happen.
Yeah.
That seems to happen an awful lot. So, save this person. Oops, you tried to save them, but actually you got them killed in the process. You donkey.
Yeah, even with like the Walking Dead game, when you had a lot of the decisions in that where you're like, oh, I'll save this person, and later on they just die anyway. So it was like, well, it kind of didn't really matter. They were always gonna die later on in the story, regardless of what I decided.
I think the most entertainment I got out of the game is when you make like decisions, like when you've got like two choices, the camera like zooms in on your character's face, and if you go to click like left or right, their like eyes move to like the decision you're making. And when I was waiting for people to make decisions, I was just like waggling the analog stick back and forth. So I just made everyone look like they had crazy eyes for a little while. And I think that kind of broke the horror immersions and what when everyone's like, "Oh, we're gonna die. What we're gonna do?" And I'm just sitting there like rolling my eyes,
like googly eyes on everyone.
Yeah, googly eyes on everyone. Yeah, I think most games and pretty much everything in life can be improved with putting googly eyes on it. Although I wouldn't suggest swallowing googly eyes.
No, because imagine having a shit and you just see eyes staring up at you.
Horror.
So you're just giving birth to Mr. Hanky.
I took the words right out of my mouth. No, I think Until Dawn's always been something on like my radar, but I've just not got round to giving it a chance or buying it or whatever. But I think I've heard good things, so it might be something I'd try one day.
Yeah, I'd say do it. I think you'd have more fun with it if you have like people with you. If you do it as a sort of group at a party or something. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that finally concludes the Halloween episode from last week. And that bit we forgot to talk about.
Yeah, from about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. God, all that time ago.
Yeah. No. I guess on like another, maybe not horror, but maybe it's a bit horror. What about your experience with Returnal, Brandon?
Yeah, so the main scary thing about Returnal is the ending. It's awful. It's actually I really did not like the ending of Returnal. At first, the whole concept of it seemed really interesting because it made out you to be like some sort of almost like some sort of space ranger astronaut thing who's got detached. So it's just you and your ship Helios. You land on like some sort of weird place where you keep respawning after death, and the world changes every time you respawn. But the first boss, I've got no quarrels with the first boss. It's a nice gateway into it. Second boss, again, pretty damn decent second boss. Third boss, wow. Now that's, that third boss seems like something you'd see at the end of the game. And then you get to the fourth boss, and then you're just like, right, okay. And then it's the ending, and then you're just like, wait, why is the third boss not the ending? Like the whole, I don't know. Do you guys want me to sort of go into detail about the ending?
Can do for me. I don't care. But
Okay,
from how you're making it sound, I think you should returnal it to the shop for a refund.
Yeah. Because basically the concept of the ending is what actually happened. You weren't actually a spaceship which got stranded. You were out on a car journey with your daughter. A spaceman appeared in the middle of the road, so you veer off course into the river, and then that's how the story starts. I don't quite like that sort of approach to it. If they kept with the theme of lost at space, with this weird concept of returning upon death, and actually trying to return home, then yeah, I thought that would have been a bit better rather than actually returning to consciousness. Like, if that makes sense.
Yes.
The combat in it is great. They've got like an artifact system in it where it can give you like certain abilities, like increase your damage by 10% or decrease damage received by 10%. You can have stat augments like increase your max health or overload reloads, whatever. Then you've got parasites, which can give you increased stat effect. In contrast, it will give you a negative stat effect. So it could be things like increase like the amount you can recover when you heal, but the downside is every time you pick up an item you take damage, for example. So it's like a trade-off, things like that. And then you can get what's called a malfunction, which is like a permanent debuff until you clear like a certain stat condition. So you could have like a malfunction where, again, like every time you reload you take damage. every time you pick up an item, you take damage. Every time you open a door, you take damage. But like there could be conditions like pick up an artifact, use a consumable, or melee 5 enemies, kill 2 enemies at the same time. So they're like your conditions to clear these malfunctions. Which like the actual combat like that is very interesting. It's very like a shooting version of Dark Souls-esque like gameplay. But it's just I just really did not like the ending. The third boss, I feel like the third boss should have been the ending, but obviously put the third boss at the end of the game rather than in the middle. Yeah, so I've like that ending like really sort of shot down my thoughts of Returnal. Like at first I thought it was going to be, quite good, but nah.
Because it's a third-person shooter.
It's a third-person shooter, yeah.
Because it's a time loop.
Yeah,
roguelike time loop game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere and like the world hopping is fantastic. Like the fact that you've got to every time you die, you lose all your items on death. You then got to basically like farm through the levels for a bit to get the best weapons you can, the best artifacts you can, the best consumables you can, ready for the next boss fight. So I like that. That's pretty cool. And like the whole currency system on it with obolites and stuff, like you literally lose everything on death. Apart from ether, you keep ether.
Okay.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's been quite a few time loop games this year. So you got Returnal, you got 12 Minutes, there's The Forgotten City and Deathloop.
Never heard of 12 Minutes.
Oh, it's on Game Pass now. I have downloaded it, but I haven't played it. Yeah,
Do you know anything? Do you know anything about 12 Minutes, Chris?
It's got William Dafoe doing the voice in it.
Yeah, I've been spoilt the whole game. I know the whole story, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is. I personally will never play it because it's so. Oh my gosh, that story is terrible. But
this is a bad story.
And well, again, that 12 minutes it's a game like Until Dawn. It's all about the story, I imagine, more than the gameplay. So again, if the story's bad, it's gonna fall on its ass.
I think from what I've heard, like it starts off quite well, but then the more you peel back, the more it's like. But then it has some interesting things with like the time loop, but. Sadly, the more you peel back of the story, the more fucked up it gets, and the more shittier it gets.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But
I still want to give it a go for myself. But
yeah.
I'm not sure how much I'm going to get into it.
No. Like I know there's like there's like certain things you can do to like skip, trying to like tell a character that you're in a time loop, and I think that's quite interesting.
Okay.
Like, what would you would you say yay or nay on Returnal, Brandon?
I say yes to get like for the actual gameplay, but no for the story. Like it's good to experience like the boss fights and the whole combat, but yeah, the ending is so rushed. Like the first the first 2 areas seem like well planned. Then anything from the 3rd area onwards, you start to feel like there's a big pacing issue.
Yeah.
So I'd probably call it like a 5 out of 10, me personally.
Now, this has got me thinking. I'm not going to say, answer straight away, because I think we might have to think about it over the course of the episode. But what game has got like the worst ending?
Of the games, I don't know.
Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, that was quick.
Because that game, that ending killed Assassin's Creed for me. I've never touched the series since. I remember getting to that ending, and I was like, are you really kidding me? I've played 5 games for this ending. I can't believe this.
I'm not familiar with the ending, so do you want to go into spoilers?
Yeah, so the ending of Assassin's Creed 3, obviously it's all about 2012, the world ending in 2012, and basically it obviously all gets they save the world, they save the destruction, but the way it's done is Desmond, the main character, pushes a button and basically becomes a martyr but it's literally him just talking to loads of characters and just going, well, I just pushed this button, and then he pushes it, and then it's just like, Desmond was immortalized, and generations remembered him. I was like, you what? You what? No, this is not. It was so anticlimactic. It was. I hated it. And then, I think what makes me even more annoyed is everyone else. You had Assassin's Creed 4, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the best Assassin's Creed," and they go, "Oh, it does this, and this." I'm like, I didn't like those things in Assassin's Creed 3, and 3 killed the franchise. I have no interest in playing Assassin's Creed 4, which might be the best Assassin's Creed, but 3 killed the franchise for me, so I have no interest.
Well, that's got to be a really bad ending then to do all of that. Like this killer franchise, stone dead. That's
For me,
got to be a hell of a fuck up.
I know a lot of people still love Assassin's Creed, and that's cool. I kind of wish I could get back into the series because I did enjoy it, but 3 killed it so much that I have no desire. And I want to play them again, but I feel like I'm just gonna play them and get frustrated again.
See.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Have I played any sort of games which have had like a really profound bad ending? Not necessarily, no. I think obviously Returnal's the most recent one.
Yeah, I can just roll for that now. I'm gonna have a think about mine because I've got a couple of them running through my head, but I'm not sure which one's worse.
That's like
I'll come back to me.
there's like I can think of like a few, but that's like if there's one that's killed me playing a franchise, and it's that. I don't think there's any other. Like I probably played one games where it's like, oh, that was the ending. Oh, okay, but then I've just picked up the next game in the series and been like, yeah, there we go, let's go. But Assassin's Creed 3 killed my enjoyment of a franchise, so I don't think there's any. For me, there's no worse game to pick from than that.
That sounds fair.
But come on.
Well, I think we should. Well, we've been on about games that play like movies, but shall we quickly discuss an actual movie which came out recently, which me and Dan have both seen. I don't know if you've seen it, Brandon, but Eternals.
Not.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
Not seen it.
The new
Okay.
Marvel film.
What did you think to it then?
So, I did enjoy it. Going in, I was a bit unsure. I seen very mixed responses, and I was a bit like, I hope this isn't a massive misstep from Marvel, because I thought the trailers I was very mixed on the trailers.
Yeah, they didn't quite grab me either.
And so
I was still intrigued because it's Marvel. But
yeah,
I can't.
but I was a bit like, is it gonna do what I want it to do? And I got in, and I think over the course of the film, I did really enjoy it. I personally would put it very low on the Marvel films, personally, but like I wouldn't put it at the bottom. But I wouldn't.
No.
I would definitely put it very low down. I think like there's a couple things they could have easily taken out of the film, like what they're called, the
Celestials?
no, not the Celestials, the things they fight.
Oh, the Deviants.
Deviants, yes, the sentient one, which eventually talks. There was no reason for that to be in the film.
Yes, I kind of agree with that. Because I went to see it with a friend as well, and we both sort of draw the same conclusion. If you took like one of like what they call the Deviants, which is basically just fodder and an excuse for action scenes, we think if you took them out, it wouldn't really change the story like at all.
I think they needed something to fight, and
that's how it feels.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we need to have conflict of some sort, otherwise it's just going to be talking the whole film.
Yeah, I think when I mean more the sentient deviant, there was no point of having one that was sentient. I think they just needed. I don't know. I think it was more for was it Fina, Angelina Jolie's character, but I also thought if we're going, well, are we going full spoilers? Because
No.
yeah,
What I will say is like, yeah, there's no need for the 17th deviant, and it kind of went with like zero fanfare as well. It's kind of resolved just like pretty much immediately. That's how
like
it felt to me anyway.
without saying what anything in like anything spoilery, what happens at the end made the sentient deviant obsolete. So
Mm-hmm.
there was no reason to put it in the first place.
No, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
It was pointless, but I thought it obviously looked fantastic and the cast of characters were really cool. I like I can't remember his name. The guy who's doing all the Bollywood films. I can't remember.
Oh, Kingu. Is that the character name? Yeah.
The
Yeah, it's
Eternal.
Yeah, it's Kingu.
Yeah, I really liked him. I thought he was really good.
Oh yeah, I'll give it this. It made me laugh more than I thought it would. It had some quite good jokes in it.
Yeah, it had a good cast of characters. I didn't expect it to have I thought it was gonna struggle developing a lot of the characters, but it did a better job than I expected actually.
Yeah, it did. I mean, for me, I don't know anything about the Eternals, so. And normally, for films like Marvel, you have like one film for like one character as a sort of introduction to them. But for them to be able to take all of these characters, like is it 7 of them, in like one film, and sort of introduce you to all of them in that one time,
Yeah,
is quite impressive, I guess.
yeah. Obviously, you had Kit Harington who plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. He's in the film for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, he is. I thought, oh, there he is, and then he just like buggers off for like the rest of the film.
And then
like,
they just appears
he's
at
like,
the
oh,
end.
I'm back. I'll come to pick up my paycheck.
Appears at the end. He's like, huh, and then goes off, and then yeah. I quite even though he's in it like 5 minutes, I quite enjoyed him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. Like near the end, there's a bit where like the camera holds on him for a second, and how it's shot, it feels like they're building up to something else with him. It's like,
Well, do
like,
you?
is he sequel bait?
Yeah, well, they when they introduced him prior to the film coming out, they said exactly what character he was playing. It was like, oh, okay, so this is how he's gonna go forward in the MCU. So,
I haven't seen anything about that myself.
well, I think literally when he got cast, it was like Kit Harington is playing this character. It was like, oh, okay, there you go. But in all the promotional stuff of the film, they said he's playing obviously the same character, but they haven't given him the superhero name. So prior to the promotion of the film, they gave him his superhero name.
Cool.
So everyone was just like, oh, there you go. We know what character he's going to play and how he's going to go forward in the MCU.
And I bet if you told me what that character is, I'll probably respond with, who?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, like when they say, oh, in Guardians of the Galaxy, oh, I'm Star-Lord.
Yeah. From what I've vaguely read, I'm really interested to see more of Kit Harington's character.
Oh, what's that bit? From DC, it's like one of the comic panels, like one of the villains like gets the character of the Flash and like takes his mask off and is like, oh, I still don't know who this is. Who is he? He's just some guy.
No, I did like Eternals, but sadly for me it was on the low end. But I did actually walk out going, I was very surprised, and I'm glad I was.
Yeah, because I went in with like zero expectations because I think like the Marvel sort of phenomenon is waning a little bit. So yeah, I wasn't like massively hyped for it, but I did come out thinking that was better than I thought it was going to be.
I think
And it's not as
carry on.
I was going to say it's not as bad as For the Dark World. That's still the worst one in my opinion.
I think that is my least favourite, followed by Iron Man 2.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
like for me they're the worst two. Like, but then the thing is with Iron Man 2, I kind of blame behind the scenes for how that came out. Not I've forgotten his name. Not the actual director.
Well, what
You
do the
mean
behind the
it's
scenes do to it?
You mean like what happened with Terrence Howard?
No, so behind the scenes of Iron Man 2, the director wanted 2 or 3 years to write the script, and he was told, no, you have to write it in one. And it had to also set up so many other things. So Iron Man 2 is a weird film where it's just setting up many things and kind of doesn't really do much else apart from that. And it's quite a boring film. There's hardly any action. When there is action, it's actually really good, to be fair, but there's like a massive lull in between. I think if time had been given to it, I think it would have been fantastic, but it's just very bland.
I did think Mickey Rourke's Whiplash was good, but again, he was like off like really quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, I was expecting like a much like bigger sort of end battle,
Yeah.
like 2-on-1, and it just sort of didn't happen. It like started off like it was going to go bananas, and then just sort of stopped.
Yeah. You got Thingy's Hammer. I forgot.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I love Sam Rockwell as Hammer.
Oh, he's a very good actor.
He's fantastic in it.
I've never seen him do a bad performance.
Yeah.
Like, not one I can think of anyway.
No. But yeah. Eternals, good. Just low end.
Yep. Yeah, better than what the reviews say. The reviews like really slagged it off.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man, but I think right now Shang-Chi has been the best thing Marvel's done this year by an absolute mile.
Yeah.
I'm still yet to see that.
Not even close.
Oh, it has, as of yesterday, been added to Disney Plus.
Yes.
You can watch it straight away.
Yep.
Which just happened.
Yeah.
I didn't see that announced anywhere. It was just, it's just there. I only seen that a couple of weeks ago.
Right, I've got an honest question for you, Chris. Is Disney Plus worth it?
If you really like the Marvel stuff, yeah. Because you've got a lot of new shows coming. They announced
I was going to say, because I've barely watched any of the Marvel films, and to be fair, there's also quite a few just bog standard regular Disney films, which I technically wouldn't mind watching, during the Christmas period.
I mean, it's what is it now? Currently, is it £60 for the year? I mean,
they are doing that £2 promotional offer, which ends today, but I'm hearing like mixed comments about how it actually works.
Okay, I don't know about that. So,
I would say it is. Personally, I like a lot of Disney films. I like Marvel, and I like Star Wars. So
yeah, it's got every episode of The Simpsons on there. So you could
it's like a really random thing to have on there.
Because
Fox,
Disney bought Fox.
Oh wow!
That was it ages ago. But yeah,
I did think it got a lot better a few months ago when they integrated with Star.
Yes.
Because they added like a load of what seemingly random films, especially stuff from like the 90s.
Yeah.
Got a lot of 90s films on there. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
I think it's worth it. I earlier this year I was going through a whole load of Disney films that I hadn't seen. I still need to watch a whole load of them, but I was like, most of them are really old ones, and I remember rewatching one, and I started rewatching it. I started watching one, and I watched the first. It's like 2 films in one, and I watched the first half, and I was like, I've seen this before, And I realised my parents, when I was younger, they recorded the film, but they only recorded half of it. So I'd
What film's
watched.
that?
It is what's it? What's it called? The story of Ichabod Crane, or that one.
Oh, Ichabod Crane. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
So it's like I'd seen The Wind of the Willows half, which is the first half, a number of times, but I'd never seen the Ichabod Crane bit.
I haven't. I know of it, but I haven't seen it myself.
I've not seen it.
It's all right.
Like, oddly enough, when I was a kid, I was like never really into Disney. I think I had that mindset when I was a kid, like Disney was for girls, so I didn't really watch any of it.
I think
No, as you get older, like you just appreciate a lot of the old Disney films. Like the main reason I'm asking is because I went through a phase last month where I was just like, I really want to watch like the original Beauty and the Beast. I want to watch Bambi. I want to watch 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
I want to watch.
I got a few of them that I want to rewatch. I think I know what you mean where it's like, oh, I think it's for girls because there's a lot of older Disney films where it's all Disney princesses, whereas
Yeah.
a lot of the newer films have gone far astray from that mindset or structure.
Yeah, I think some of them try to like actively avoid it because they don't want
Yeah.
to get typecast or. But I think having like a younger sister and a younger female cousin who are really into Disney also hammered that mindset into me as well. So if they like it, I don't want to know. I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to like what the girls are into. I'm a man.
Like,
Well, I'm a 10-year-old.
I've seen Frozen 1 and 2 like nearly 20 times, and I enjoy both of them. But at the same time, I don't really care. Like, I'd see them for what they are. They're just a good film. Yeah, maybe the first one is a bit more Disney princessy, whereas the second one has a lot more mature themes. And even the soundtrack is a lot more mature.
Well, my take on Frozen, like anyone cares, it's fucking Frozen. I like the first Frozen. I actively went in, like, sort of watched it because I was bored, because I wanted to see like how much I just hate it. When I finished watching it, I was like, wow, shit, I can't really take the piss because that was actually quite good. And but I watched the second one. I did not like the second one at all. The second one falls into a trap, which a lot of sequels do, where they sort of like have the side character, in this case like Olaf, and give him like a bunch more screen time because the kids like him. And it's like, no, every time he's on screen and like just kills the story dead. It's just like to do some pointless shit. It's just like, oh, just get him off screen. Like they do it with the Minions as well. So they were like really popular.
Yeah.
Like, it happened with Despicable Me. It's like, oh, let's make them the focus. It's like, no, it's off. Do not want.
Yeah, both. Yeah, I know what you mean with Frozen 2, but I enjoy them both. I think probably the first one is better, but I think the soundtrack for the second one is better personally.
Yeah, and a guy from Fallout Boy that does like the main theme.
Oh no, I think it was Panic at the Disco.
I'm gonna say it's a band like that.
A
band I don't care for.
Yeah,
but I recognise the name.
Yeah,
it came up in the credits. It's like that's a band I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I know Weezer did a song for Frozen 2 as well.
Did they?
Yeah,
I missed that.
Yeah,
bloody look.
Yeah, it's good.
I've changed my mind. Frozen 2's bro. Sweet, isn't it? I'm very shallow.
No, I would say Disney Plus is worth it, Brandon.
Oh yeah, and you got The Mandalorian as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's another thing which I've not seen yet either.
Yeah,
that was why I got Disney Plus for The Mandalorian, and I still think it's probably the best thing, like probably the best series they've done on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with that.
Right, this might seem like a really daft question. I can't remember if we've covered this before, but obviously it's been absolutely ages since I've watched it. Well, it's been about a year since I've seen any, maybe a year or two since I've seen any Star Wars. So I've only seen 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 7.
Mm-hmm.
I need to watch anything more than that to get an idea of this whole world of The Mandalorian, or could you just sort of go in as a standalone?
No, you can
Mandalorian
pretty much jump in.
is set after Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Like, it's set very soon after Return of the Jedi.
You
Okay.
can just go straight in there. All
Yeah.
you need to know is the Mandalorian's just basically a bounty hunter, and that's it. That's all you really
Yeah.
need to know. You can pretty much piece it all together from there.
Realistically, you could literally just watch the original trilogy and then just go into the Mandalorian. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you don't need to watch any of the others, really. Here's a question while we're on Star Wars. How do you watch Star Wars? Like, in what order do you watch the films?
Literally,
I was
as
gonna
I mentioned, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
I was going to say, generally, I watch Star Wars with my eyes. I don't know how you do. Well, I'm a bit older, so I only had like the original trilogy growing up. So obviously, I've seen those first, and then I seen the prequels in order in the cinema. So I have seen them like in the order they've been released. So.
But, like, if you were planning to re-watch them, how would you watch them?
I'd rewatch it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, personally.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually rewatched them all like last year when I like first got Disney Plus. I thought, sod it, I'll go for it. But
Wait,
I
all the
did do
original
it-
Star Warses are on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, all
fuck
of them.
me. I know what I'm doing this Christmas.
So,
Yeah,
I
that's
have
it.
an interesting way of watching the Star Wars films.
Don't you dare say something like 2, 1, 7, 9, 71 to the square root of 2.
Damn, you got me. So,
Yeah.
I watch episode 4, so A New Hope,
Yeah.
then Empire Strikes Back, but then
Right, okay.
I wouldn't watch Return of the Jedi next. I would watch Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, and then Return of the Jedi, because it would. The way I see it is, you get to like the end of Empire Strikes Back, and Luke finds out that Darth Vader is his father. Spoilers. But then in between the time of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, it's him finding out about his dad, and you could have that as him, I don't know, like reading or whatever, and that's just 1 to 3. And then, yeah, you watch Return of the Jedi, then if you want, watch Force Awakens, and don't watch anything more. 8 and 9 don't exist, boys.
But what about the Ewok films? What order did you watch them in? Like Caravan of Courage and the other one?
Ewok films? They're the best Star Wars films. I don't know. Are there even
It's
Ewok
all over
films?
the holiday special. They're things that exist. I'm sorry, I've reminded everyone of those.
I never knew they did.
Yeah, there was a
Oh, yeah.
holiday special many
As well.
moons ago in a galaxy far, far away.
On a Tuesday afternoon,
Yeah,
about lunchtime.
'cause that's where Boba Fett first appeared.
Yeah, he certainly did. In animated form. Badly animated form.
Yeah.
Well, I've been replaying like Dark Souls again in my spare time for like the billionth time, trying to try new challenge runs. But,
Victory achieved. There you go.
victory achieved, yeah. And I'm also getting really hyped for Elden Ring because they've dropped like gameplay trailers now.
Yeah.
Have we not spoken about Elden Ring yet? Have we
I've
gone
not
this far?
seen the gameplay trailers. I'm literally trying to keep it. I've seen the pictures because obviously they're everywhere on Instagram and Facebook, but I've been trying to avoid any sort of video footage. And even like one of the YouTube channels, Mythy Moo, he's been uploading gameplay,
Yeah.
like trial gameplay of it. I've even been avoiding that.
Oh, no.
Democracy's playing it. Vardy Vasti is played it. Like, a lot
Yes.
of people are playing it right now.
Yeah, I've seen Varty's video on it, and yeah, D-mods as well.
I haven't seen D-mods, but I haven't seen any videos. I've seen like they're out, but I've not watched any of them.
All right. Well, all I'll say is there appears to be like a lot of assets and like animations pulled from Dark Souls 3. But I won't go any further into it. You don't want it spoiled. But all I can say is I really, really want it in my face. And frankly, the fact that FromSoft hasn't sent me a copy is just it's just rude. It's just rude.
I really can't
Anyway.
wait for the release of it. I so cannot wait for it.
You know, we're just gonna have like an Elden Ring episode where we're all just like, oh,
We'll be dribbling.
No, we're not. No, we won't. We're not going to be able to drag ourselves away from the game long enough to.
No, it would be like a live react.
Yeah, guys. Just fair warning: when Elden Rings come out, we're taking like a month off of recording.
I'll
I'm
come
gonna
back a
quit the
shell of
job.
a man.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna go hollow. I think.
that won't be that bad.
I will.
Speak for yourself. Yeah.
I think you're already getting like that, aren't you, Brandon? Yeah, I opened that tin of worms last couple of weeks, and well, you've not stopped since.
Yeah, so if, as anyone remembers from a previous episode of the podcast, Dan decided to state that he's recently been playing old school RuneScape again. And ever since then, he got me rehyped for it, and I've been playing it since. I've gotten a couple of my Twitch viewers into it as well. So there's now like a group of 3 of us who've been playing it like all day yesterday. As of recording, we were just out, questing on the game. It was so good just being back to like 13-year-old Brandon playing RuneScape. I'm loving it to bits. Really, really loving it to bits.
I can confirm to our listeners that Dan and Brandon, on our personal messages, have not shut the fuck up about RuneScape. all pissing week.
I think it's more Brandon than me, to be honest. But still.
And I still haven't played it and probably never will.
I
don't want to fall down that rabbit hole. I don't want to turn into you guys.
I think if you hadn't played it when you were younger, you won't play it now.
No.
No, but that's the thing. Like, one of my friends, one of my viewers who had been playing it, he's never even heard of it until I mentioned it. Right. And then as soon as he started to hear the soundtrack, he was like, yeah, Brandon, I'm sold. And then now he's mainly playing the game because he's really interested on the economic system of it.
Yeah. It's they change it all the time. So certain things change price all the time.
Yeah, I've been really, really enjoying it. And I'm now currently on a grind to try and get 4.5 million gold so I can get like a 2-week membership.
Oh my gosh.
I'm really trying my hardest. It's literally almost... Obviously, you can tell that not as many people playing it. Because I think back in the days, was it 2,000 people per world?
Something
was that
like
the
that.
But now I think you're lucky if you see 500 in the world. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, a decent number of players still playing it. And it's still like a big community, yeah.
I did actually go on to RuneScape 3 actually yesterday because I was like, I may as well see my original character again. So I saw him. I don't know how, but my PC really struggled to play RuneScape 3. I don't know why, but it was lagging like who knows what. So I pretty much came off, and I was like, well, there we go. I'm probably not going to play RuneScape 3. But essentially, it's just literally old school RuneScape with more skills, with many, obviously, newer quests. Obviously, to a point, old school RuneScape went, right, we're stopping here. This, from now on, going forward, it's RuneScape 3. From here backwards, it's old school RuneScape. So...
Yeah, because one of the things I watched a video, it was about RuneScape trying to stay modernized and how they didn't want people, obviously, because all the original player base at the time were like 13, 14, 15-year-olds who had the time on their hands. So now they were like, okay, we're trying to hold all these older players, but because they've got jobs and livelihoods, they don't want people to be stuck in this endless grind. So they've been like, in RuneScape 3, introducing like these like pay-to-win aspects and other bits to increase the speed you can gain experience to avoid all that. But that's, I mean, call me old-fashioned, but I still like the old-fashioned method of just AFK, like clicking on a tree, waiting for you to cut it down, waiting for it to respawn, and then moving on, go to the bank, store it, whatever. Like it's just the chill atmosphere of it is what I enjoy it. I'm guessing you probably feel the same way, Dan. It's just that nostalgia of it.
Yeah, right at the moment I'm trying to get 60 woodcutting and fire making, because now I have done, except for one, I've done all the 3 quests. And once you've done Dragon Slayer and another quest, you can go to a new area, which is funny enough, actually a members area, but you can actually go in. You can go into it for free if you're a free member, a free player, and so because of that, which is obviously something they've added. I don't know when they added it, but I don't remember that quest and that area. But now they've added it, I can cut maple logs or maple trees, which you could never cut for free.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that was like
player.
one really weird concept. Like, once you reach level 45 of woodcutting, you're able to cut down maple logs. But there was, like, they said, oh yeah, free-to-play players can do it. But the accessibility of maple trees as a free-to-play was, like, impossible.
Was members only.
Yeah.
But the only way you could buy the logs and burn them, but you couldn't cut them. But now you can. So once you've beaten Dragon Slayer and done whatever it's like, the curse of something cove,
The Corsair Curse.
yeah, once you've done both of those quests, you can cut maple logs. So I'm just cutting maple logs right now. I'm just be there, and there's just 3 yew trees next to me. So as soon as I've got level 60 woodcutting, I can just roll onto the yews. No one's there. No, I have no one to contend with. There's no one trying to take my trees away from me. So yeah, there's no bank near me. But then,
Yeah, I was going to say, like, is there a bank nearby?
there is, because if you do the Council Curse, you get the bank, but it's still a bit of a walk. So I'm just happy leveling up my fire making and woodcutting right now. I mean, yeah. But I think it's getting to that point where I'm like, I don't know, I'll keep going, but I can see myself paying for membership, but I kind of don't want to either.
That's why I'm working trying to get, like, the bonds for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, how much is the membership? Is it £6 or is it £7?
I think we said it was about £7 a month. Something
Yeah,
around
so that is arguably it's a fair amount of money, but it's something which you could possibly just remove something which you nonsensely buy in your life to supplement it. Like, for example, a couple of days, like when I swallowed my piercing, one of my thoughts was, oh, I probably need to eat more to encourage it to go out. So I literally spent like a tenner on food. I didn't need to do that because I've got food at home, but I just spent a tenner on food anyway. So it's like, could I just change these nonsensical purchases and just, do it something like this for, like, rather than that 10 minute of food, could I turn that into 1 month of entertainment?
Yeah, well, you got to look at that with everything. Not just for gaming, just for everything. Should I spend food, or can I put it into my bank account to go towards my mortgage?
That's another thing I've been doing as well.
I would much rather have 10 packets of hobnobs than a month worth of RuneScape, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'd rather have a membership than hobnobs.
You sort your priorities out, mate.
Why not both?
What, half a month and then only 5 packets of hobnobs? No deal.
No deal.
So, like, as I said, I have now, except for one quest, I have now finished all the quests on RuneScape. So, and I've kind of nearly finished all the free content. I'm just grinding, but I've had a good time, and I'll still be playing it, but I'm not playing it as much as I was. But I've got a few other commitments I need to sort, so it's probably a good thing I'm not playing it as much. But I kind of don't want to go down the member route just yet, but I think I could see myself going down it, and I'm scared.
I can see myself doing it just to remember what it's like, and just to, like, properly experience all the content. Like, even like during Christmas, for example, I might pick up in December, just so, like, when I've got that week off during Christmas, I can be like, okay, I can experience some of the content.
Yeah, I might do the same.
I mean, it's £7 for like 1 month, it's like what £1.50 a week ish.
Yeah.
Whereas you can just quite easily sink that money into something like 2 alcoholic beverages, which you could just have in like 10 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm probably gonna do it just for the month of December, just to see how I get on.
But although RuneScape is quite I'd say a slow-paced game, Chris, you've been playing a far fast-paced game.
I have, yeah, like the polar opposite to RuneScape.
Yeah,
So,
very fast-paced, stylish, you could say, game.
well,
With
I
a
don't
lot
want to
of-
cry. I don't want to cry on about it, but I have been playing Devil May Cry 5, which I finished on stream only a couple of days ago. And it's been sitting on my hard drive for like 2 years. I just had not got around to playing it. I don't even know why. I just like never felt like I was in the mood for it. Because I suppose the problem with Devil May Cry 5 is it's not Dark Souls, so therefore I'm not playing it. But no, I had a blast with it. I had such a fun time. It's such a good game. If I have one critique with it though, it just sort of ends. Like you kind of see where the plot's going towards like the last couple of chapters, and they sort of like build up that you and this other character's got to like do a thing, stop the evil, blah 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 blah, save the world. But it's just sort of bugger off, and then you resolve it like by having a fight during like as the credits roll, and it's not even like a big boss fight or anything. It's just like standard enemies, and I was like, oh, that's it. I was like, well, I did enjoy it. It plays merry hell with your muscle memory because there's 3 characters you can play as throughout the campaign, and you like swap between them. But their moveset and gameplay style are so massively different. So when you've been playing as another character, you switch over to the next one. You're still instinctively trying to play it as a different character, and then realise that it's not working. So it's always like a bit of a gear shift. But I really did like it. A lot of people said like the new character in it, V, they were a bit decisive about his combat because he doesn't actually like attack enemies himself. He has like a couple of familiars that do his attacking for him, and you just like come in and finish him off. But I concluded with I actually preferred his gameplay over the others, and I think it all boils down to I seem to be doing much better at it playing as him than the other ones. I was getting like much higher rankings in combat playing as him than I did the others. So I think by default I preferred him because I was actually half decent at playing him. Because I'm not the best at like Devil May Cry games. I have played all of them, but I would never say I'm brilliant at them. I can get by. Like the original games, you can use like ranged weapons like double pistols to take off enemies, health bars, or you can get up close and personal and do big damage with your swords. But I was always a complete coward and just like hide at the back and realise, look, it's doing pistol damage, but I am killing them. Just hiding in the corner away from all their attacks, just spamming the fire button like mad. But it's working. It's taking half an hour, but it's working. I'm never going to get an S rank, but hey, I don't really care. Like, because I'm not that competitive. The game, like Devil May Cry 5, does have some like online sort of features, and that's if you look closely, you can see other people like playing the same level as you are, but playing as one of the different characters, like during the same storyline. Because like the
Oh, you mean like
storyline
what Dark Souls has got with the online mode, how you can see the shadows?
kind of, yes, but you don't sort of like interact with them at all. They're like off in the distance. So like they're like behind walls and kind of thing. They're like literally like 200 meters away from you. Like,
Oh, okay.
so you don't actually like cross paths at all. But I'll be honest, these things happen, and like it actually like at the end of the mission to like rank the other player that was playing as like crap or stylish. But you don't really notice them. It was like there was another player. I didn't see him. I was too busy trying not to die myself. I didn't even notice other people were playing. It's only after I did a couple of missions I sort of knew they were there. I didn't realise it was a feature at first. And then it's only after doing a few missions I've realised, oh, other people are doing like the same thing as I am. So I kind of tried to keep an eye out for them, but it's not really important to the main gameplay because it has no effect. I don't know what happens if you rate them as crap. I thought I'd be nice and like rate everyone as good job, even though I have no idea how well they did. They could have lost all their lives for all I know, but I'll still rate them as good work. Well done, keep it up. But yeah, would I recommend Devil May Cry 5? Absolutely. It is a blast to play. A little bit confusing, as I say, when you swap between characters, but I'm sure most people can get around that easy enough by just being good at the game, not being as crap as I am. But I got by just fine. It does sort of like have a life system like the other games, but throughout my entire playthrough, I never lost a single life. In fact, I think bar a couple of bosses, I didn't come close to dying. Although I was on the noob difficulty, because I know how hard the past Devil May Cry games can be, and I thought there's no way I'm putting it on hard mode, especially in front of a live audience. I'll look like a right tool. Yeah, it's still very good though. I do highly recommend. And that's my take on Devil May Cry 5. Go treat yourself.
What is the actual gameplay style of Devil May? Because I've never played it at all.
It's like a very fast-paced hack and slash.
Okay.
So I'd say like the opposite of RuneScape.
Yeah.
Everything moves at like 100 miles an hour. You got to get like fast combos going. So, I mean, that's what a lot of the combat boils down to, is like being able to memorize combos and do them fast. Because you get like a ranking system, and the more varied you are, the higher it climbs up. But if you don't attack or don't mix it up, like your ranking goes down. So you've got to keep active. So the faster and more aggressive you are, the better you're gonna do.
Okay.
Do you know Bayonetta, Brandon?
Oh yeah.
It's Bayonetta is basically exactly like Devil May Cry.
Okay.
Gameplay wise.
Yeah, Devil May Cry did it first.
That's why I said Bayonetta is basically exactly like.
Yeah. I still haven't played Bayonetta. I own Bayonetta. I haven't played it for more than 10 minutes. I just didn't get into it all that much. But maybe I think I need to replay it now I've played Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I've played Devil May Cry 1 and a bit of 3, and I think I'm the same as you. I know I'm not very good at them, but I enjoy them.
Oh yeah, they're a fun time, even if you're not great.
I've even seen the anime.
I have seen the anime. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
That was years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, it was
From
actually.
what I remember.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
No.
I can't really remember a lot of it. From what I remember, it's kind of like a sort of monster of the week deal. There's some different demon attacking every episode, which
I think
Dante
so.
goes to sort out. And then there's this background character who sort of appears every now and again, at the end of each episode after the confrontation's gone down. And then it turns out he's the big bad at the end. He's got the demon parts from the fallen enemies. And then Dante just kicks his ass, and that's pretty much the series.
Yep.
I think I saw the Devil May Cry anime earlier this year. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No.
It's one I've actually seen.
I can't really remember much of it though, to be fair. So I probably wouldn't rank it overly too high.
No, I think it's one and done. He's I watched it, that was cool, but it's kind of like fluff. There's not a lot of detailed stuff going on. It's just a lot of action, and when it's done, it's done.
Well, I have bought and I have played the new Call of Duty Vanguard. I mainly only really bought it to play with my group of friends. Really, I quite like the last one more as a game I could play and chill out and put a podcast on or some music. It became a bit of a podcast game for me, and I quite enjoyed it in that sense. I still actually kind of do. I still do. But Cold War became a podcast game for me, and because all my friends, my close friends, bought Vanguard, I was like, it'd be nice to game with them all still. So I bought Vanguard. I've not played too much, to be honest. I've only really played, well, until today, I'd only been playing the multiplayer, but I have played the zombies, but I've only played one game. And campaign, I have yet to touch. I didn't even touch the campaign on the last game. And I don't know if I even will on this one. But the multiplayer is fine. It's been really laggy for me, so I don't know if that's the game itself or my internet, but it's been very laggy. So I'm not sure what's going on.
And that's a bit of a bummer considering that's like complete core aspect of the game.
Yeah, and but Vanguard is like a World War II one, so they've gone back to World War II. That it's kind of carried on what when they rebooted like kind of the series with Modern Warfare. It's kind of carrying on with that. So Modern Warfare, Warzone, Cold War, and Vanguard are all kind of integrated in some ways. Whereas if you go on Warzone, you can use all the weapons from all three games, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I from my little time I've played of it, I'm enjoying it, but it is very laggy. Yeah, it's nice to use the World War II weapons again. I quite like them, to be honest. And yeah, it's kind of just the same thing. There isn't really much to say, really.
Well, here's a question for both of you then. Obviously, we've all had our fair share of first-person shooters. What sort of era, in terms of first-person shooters, do you prefer? World War One, pre-World War One, like 1870s-ish, with stock action rifles. You like World War Two, where they started to introduce tanks and airplanes. Would you like Cold War style, like 1960s, or modern warfares, or futuristic warfares? Like, where would you say you prefer your first-person shooters?
I don't care as long as it's enjoyable
No.
and kind of does something different.
How about throw you a curveball? How about something like Time Splitters or Serious Sam, where you're jumping around all of them?
Yeah,
or like a fantasy one, yeah.
Time Splitters Future Perfect is probably one of my favourite first-person shooters of all time. My friend and I, he used to come around mine, or I'd go around his. I'd bring my PlayStation 2, and we play Time Splitters Future Perfect. We go on the level Siberia, just have sniper rifles and just snipe at all the enemies, and eventually it would just be him and I, and it would just be my slow death as he snipes me.
I mean, I love Time Splitters 2 and 3. I've still got my GameCube copies of it. They are such good games. But I'll tell you something. I didn't like the first one when it first came out, and I didn't like it for the dumbest reason. I didn't like it because of the control scheme, which is like the same control scheme we still use now.
The first one is very...
that control scheme wasn't like the standard back then. Like every game played differently. Like all sort of first person games played very similarly, control scheme wise.
I when I went back to Future Perfect, I changed the controls to be like COD to make it easier.
Yeah, and then we've mentioned GoldenEye a couple of times, but you tried to play them like any shooter on the N64 now. Jesus, with one analog stick.
Yeah.
How do we do it, guys? How do we do it?
Even when you just play like Metroid Prime 1 and 2 on the GameCube, even that it feels weird where you just got one analog stick. Well, you do have two, but the other one isn't for like turning or anything. It's for your weapons.
Yes. Did they fix that in like the remaster? Because I know like you play it on the Wii, but you can still connect like a GameCube up to it. Did they give you
no
the option
idea.
to like change the control schemes?
No idea.
No, I don't know either.
But as I said, have played the zombies on Vanguard as well, and it's really weird. I don't know if I like it or not. Where I don't know if any of you have played Call of Duty Zombies.
The last one I
No.
played was Black Ops 3 Zombies.
Well, it mostly hasn't changed. This is like the first one that has felt very different, where you start in like a little small area, and you go and do like objectives, and it makes the area bigger as you do these objectives, and all your perks are free.
Right.
Pack-a-Punch is slightly more expensive, and I don't know, I think as I went on, I was like, this is actually okay, but initially it felt very weird. I'd been so used to Cold War zombies that going on to the Vanguard zombies, I was like, I don't know if I like this or not. I think the more I play it, I think I will, but I think Cold War Zombies was kind of perfect. As someone who had not played zombies for a long time, it was like I spent too many hours just grinding on zombies. I've got like 2 gold guns, got like a diamond gun. Like I had an absolute blast on Cold War Zombies, and I don't know if I'm gonna have that same experience on Vanguard.
Yeah, when we first went into lockdown back in, March last year, that's when I picked up Black Ops 3 because I wanted to play the zombies, and I think I played it for a whole month straight. Just going back to that, getting used to zombies, and actually it took me a while to get used to the new aspects of Black Ops 3 Zombies, with the how you turn into that creature like thing. It took me so long to get used to it, but once I did, I fucking love it.
I've not played Black Ops 3 Zombies.
It is so good.
Like
I downloaded Black Ops 3 for the PS Plus a few months back. Booted it up, realised it didn't have a single player campaign, uninstalled it.
They mean Black Ops 4.
Is it Black Ops 4?
Yeah,
probably.
Black Ops 4 was the one that came out, which is like you need your own separate hard drive to play it.
Yes, it took I swear it took like an entire day to download. When I finally got it, I didn't even play it.
Yeah, it's a monstrous game. I think that's the main reason I haven't downloaded it yet, is because it's like over 100 gigabytes of data. I'm just like, I really can't be asked to wait that long.
Like, I look at my hard drive and it's just all the cards are just so much memory. It's just them. It's ridiculous. And most of it's just Warzone. So I enjoy them, but
I'm not big on COD at all. Never have been. I like the 3 Modern Warfare games. I thought they were fine, but that's more for like the storyline more than anything.
Yeah,
it's not many games that are like actually have the balls to like kill off your playable characters like part way for the storyline. So that kept it fresh.
Yeah.
But, that's about the best thing I can say about it.
Yeah, I think for me, like the campaign for like COD peaked at Modern Warfare 3, and I've not had any interest in the campaign since.
Yeah.
I haven't really got an impression of any of the campaigns. Like, the only aspect of the campaign in which I remember is Call of Duty 2 at the very start, where they say, "Look out, Stukas," and then the only other thing I remember is, what do you remember? No Russians. Obviously, I'm Max Tavish from Modern Warfare 2, but they're the only things from any of the of the Call of Duty campaigns I can remember. Like, that's it.
Yeah, from what I understand, the storylines just get very, very stupid. They just don't make sense, but they don't care.
No.
It's like, we just need an excuse to shoot people. We don't care what the plot is.
No.
And it's mostly online anyway.
Yep, mostly everyone cares about online these days, but
that's me, because I've got to be the stick in the mud.
I think that's the main reason why I really didn't like the Star Wars Battlefront remakes. It's because it was just entirely online. Like, I thought because like on the PS2, the Star Wars Battlefront, how you can do like you versus the AIs.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing which I love the most about the Battlefront games is just how fun just you versus the AIs are. But they didn't bring that back with the Star Wars Battlefront remake, and I was like, oh, I was really disappointed by that.
Yeah, I played a bit of the first one, and it was fun, but at the same time, I was like, I don't see myself buying this game. I just went to a mate's and he had it. I was like, well, I'll play it. And it was fun, but I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, same. Like I've never actually bought a Call of Duty game. all the ones I've played, I've either borrowed them or downloaded them for free. But the thing is, for me, because I care about the campaigns, and I know the campaigns are really short, I'd really begrudge like paying like full price for a new game only to play it for a few hours.
See what you mean?
Mm.
Oh yeah, by the way, just a quick off-topic, like as we're talking about some older games.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' thoughts on the GTA Definitive Editions?
I have none. I've never really played the originals. They're not my thing.
Because I've got because again last year during the lockdown I picked up GTA 3 Vice City and San Andreas because I think they were on offer for like a few quid. But then when I'm seeing like these remakes coming out for like 30, 40, 50 pounds, I'm just like, what? Like, how are they different from the originals?
Well, they've had graphical revamps, which everyone is pulling apart because, from what I understand, people hate it. They said it's like a lazy, soulless cash grab, and they're worse than the originals.
That's what I was thinking. I was just like, how are they actually worth the difference compared to the originals? Because I don't see it.
For what I understand, they're not worth picking up at all.
Exactly.
Try and hunt down the originals.
Because like the originals are all on the PS Store for like literally just a few quid each.
Well, yes. So why the hell would you download inferior versions for way more money?
That's literally my thinking. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that we were all of the like mind.
I've got the original free. I think if I was to like play any of them, what I'd do is I'd just like. Oh, I think Vice City and 3 I can easily play. San Andreas, I think my copy isn't that great, so I'd probably just buy like the Xbox 360 or I wouldn't buy the remastered. I'd just buy another version of it and just play it. I could easily just buy it on PC, to be honest, on Steam. There we go. I'll probably just do that, and then there.
Yeah,
Easy
and then you
peasy.
can mod the shit out of it.
I have many weeks ago, I did play a game, and I've not had the chance to speak about this game.
It's me, Dan.
It is. So I picked up Super Mario 3D World / Bowser's Fury. I've yet to play Bowser's Fury. I've just been playing the 3D World, which is obviously a re-release of the Wii U game. Obviously, that came out early. That whole game came out early this year. So I've been slowly playing that, and it's really fun. it really is. It's been a while since I played a bit of Mario like that, but it's been really fun.
Awesome. So, of course, Bowser's Fury takes place after Bowser's Slightly Annoyed.
I've yet to play Bowser's Fury. I can't say anything on that, but I've just been playing 3D World.
Sweet.
But
it's one I've not played.
It's kind of like, you know, like the original trilogy on the NES, where you got like, no, it's more like New Super Mario Bros. On the DS.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, there's like 3 gold coins you pick up in every level.
Yeah, it's more like that, but then it's like more like a modern Mario where it's obviously 3D. But it's really fun. You got very different power-ups. That you got the cat power-up now, so you can turn into a cat. You can climb up things and stuff like that. There's like other little off things you can do. So you got like Captain Toad, and you can play as him and do like levels with him. But yeah, I'm not too far into it, but I've been really enjoying it, and I've been busy doing so many other things. I've not got back to it, but I definitely will be playing more, and I'm really looking forward to playing Bowser's Fury at some point. I'm really interested to see what that is completely. I think that plays more like Super Mario Odyssey, from what I've heard.
Okay. I mean, I know we love like playing like the Souls games, like the really difficult stuff, but it is nice every now and again to boot at something like Mario, like something that's relatively easy and just chill.
Yeah, like I'm like I said, I've really enjoyed it, and been times when I'm like, oh, I got through a level, and then I'm like, oh, I'm missing this star or whatever, like the collectibles in each level. I'm like, right, I'm gonna go back and try and get them. And I remember the first world, I didn't go to the second world until I'd 100%ed every level. I was like, I was determined.
Oh, I get that mindset. Yeah, when you just refuse to move on until you've done the very best you can in the other stages. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes to like the detriment, because you can get wound up trying to do these levels like before you can even move on to the next ones. You just end up never playing them sometimes because you refuse to move on. It's like, no, I'm not doing World 2 until I've finished World 1. It's just not happening. And then you just never get around to it. She just can't do it.
No, I will be playing more. I think when I've started Bowser's Fury, I'll probably mention it again. But from what I've played, it's been really fun, and I'm very happy I bought it. I've had a really good time so far. Obviously, it is kind of standard Mario to a point. There's nothing really too new, but it's been really fun. The gimmick of 3D World is that you can play 4-player if you want. Obviously, you need 4 people there, but yeah, you can switch between 4 characters. So obviously, Mario, Luigi, then you have Peach and Toad.
No Waluigi. Bad times.
He ain't even Smash.
Missed opportunity. Sora, get out of here. Put Waluigi. Come on.
But yeah, it's been fun. Each character is different. Like Peach floats. Luigi jumps a bit higher. I don't know what Toad's special thing is. And Mario's just Mario. But it's been good. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they're stealing the move sets from the original Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah, I think it is.
Doki Doki Panic, as everyone loves to point out.
I did think that when I played it. I was like, I feel like is slightly inspired by Super Mario 2. But
Still, you say it plays like Mario, and they haven't done much new, but there's nothing wrong with that.
no,
Why fix what's not broken?
no.
They play great, so leave it be. Fine.
Yeah. Like with many things.
Mm-hmm.
But both of you have played another game each, haven't you? Chris, you've played Child of Light.
I have, not for the first time. So I did that on chat just this previous week because some of my followers wanted me to play it, and I thought, you know what, that'll be quite good because sometimes streaming RPGs can be like a mammoth task because you've got to set so much time aside for, and yeah, if you want to play like an RPG online, you literally have to play nothing else apart from that. That's going to take up all your time. But Child of Light is not that long. You can do it in like 12 hours. The combat mechanics are solid. So the combat system, if you've played a game like Grandia, it's a very similar kind of thing. Like instead of like turn-based, you have a bar at the bottom of the screen with like your character portraits on and the enemy's portraits on, and it's basically like moves in real time from left to right. You got a blue bar where everyone's like waiting to take their turn, and then you have like a red segment at the end, which is like the time before they take their action. And if you get hit or hit the enemies when they're in that segment, it can completely interrupt them and cancel that attack and move them like back on the timeline. Obviously, different characters have like different speeds, so they can get more turns in. Graphically, it's really nice. They use like a lot of watercolors, sort of like Fairy Tale book. The plot's pretty bare bones, if I'm honest. It's pretty much what you'd expect from like an RPG. There's a dark evil, and you're like the innocent child. Go forth and twat it. That's basically what it boils down to. It's the soundtrack is pretty good as well. A reason one of my chatters wanted me to do it is because two separate couples on there, when they got married, had the theme to the game as they walked down the aisle, which I think was a staggering coincidence. It's two separate couples had Child of Light. I'm guessing it wasn't the boss battle theme music they played. But, well, if I got married, I want to get married to sort of boss battle music. Put on like Those Who Fight Further from Final Fantasy VII when I'm walking down. I foresee no problems with that. I'm sure everyone will be on board with it. But yeah, Child of Light. I do highly recommend it. I don't know if it's the first game I ever got for free on PS Plus, and fucking it, what a way to start your free games. It's like, hey, have a really good RPG for free. And honestly, of all the free games I've ever had, that's probably one of the best ones. Because I think looking at it graphically, it wouldn't necessarily be something I play. But hey, it's a free game, so I wasn't going to turn it down. And I'm really glad I played it, because it is a really good RPG. It's pretty easy as well, so if you've never really played RPGs all that much but want to get into them, it's an excellent sort of starter RPG. So get you to grips with like the whole idea of the mechanics behind them if you've never played one. So it's a very high recommendation for me. Child of Light. Go forth and play it. You'll have a blast.
I've played it, and it is a good game.
Mm-hmm. The only downside to it that I can think of is Ubisoft published it. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Well.
But it, as you say, it really does look really beautiful. Its art style is very good, and it does have a really pleasant soundtrack as well.
Yeah, as I say, it's not too long. You can do it in a weekend easy. If I give it one minor criticism, is that I think it wraps up like really quickly. Like when I was streaming on it, and like the one before last stream I did of it, I didn't realize how close to the end I was. Like I didn't realize the place I was like the last dungeon, because it didn't feel like it. It just felt like a sort of water dungeon, which is, one of the tropes of RPGs, like your sort of elemental dungeons. And yeah, it just felt like I was at the water level, and then before and of it, oh shit, this is like the end of the game. Damn, this could have came out of left field. So, but still though, it's still very, very good, and you should all give it a shot if you see it. I believe you can get it really cheap now as well, because it's been out for some time.
I think I got it free on PlayStation as well.
Yeah, this would have been about what? Actually, quite a while ago. Actually, the more I think about it, probably was about 2014.
Yeah, I think it was a while that it was free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, as I say, it's one of the first games I got free with PlayStation Plus, and according to my years, I had the PS4 back in 2014, so shortly after it came out, and I got PS Plus like straight away because I thought it looked all right, and I wanted to like do stuff like Netflix and that, and you needed PS Plus to do that. But yeah, it's been a while.
And Brandon, last game for you?
So today, I bought this when I got the PS5, but I picked up Tribes of Midgard. And so I'd say if you're like a fan of like Age of Empires or anything which you need to like gather a certain resource to build up your town, and then every night you'll have like a wave. Actually, nah. Probably the best way I can describe this game is almost like Don't Starve. Apart from you don't need to eat, you just need to gather resources, defend your base, and every night, you get invaded. Game gets gradually more and more challenging as time goes on. But yeah, I played it for about an hour this morning, and I was having a good time. So if you're looking for like just like a strategy game just to chill, because I think the game itself now is quite cheap. Like I'd be surprised if you find it for more than like 15 pounds. I mean, it's just something which you can just turn your head off and just basically just have a good time playing a strategy game. So I'm probably going to go back to it like next weekend, outside of streaming, outside of editing for YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, so as probably by the next podcast episode, I'll be able to tell everyone a little bit more about my experience with it.
So it seems like a weird coincidence that all three of us, like the last three games we talked about, each have all been like what was described as like chill games.
Yeah. But I mean, the cool thing about Trials of Midgard is even though it's branded as an online game, you can do up to 10 players online, where basically you have you can go like with a group of friends and just basically, as long as all of you are online, you can all just hop into the server and just all of you just gather certain resources and try and survive and take on bosses. But the one thing I'm unsure about is whether the bosses and all the enemies scale to the number of players in the game. Like how some games have that.
Yeah, I would have thought
so. Yeah, I don't know if Trials of Midgard will have that, because otherwise it'll just make it ridiculously easy if you're playing with 10 players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you say it's like a strategy game?
Yeah, so on the first day, you've got nothing. You've got no weapon, you've got no armors. Basically the whole point is like that first day you have to like gather sticks, you have to gather wood, flint, take them to your base. You can turn those into like a beginner like pickaxe and axe. Then you can go out and get whole trees and whole rocks. Then you can take them back to your base to turn them into construction materials to fortify your defenses, upgrade your life tree, upgrade your civilians, put in like archery towers. And it's just basically like an ongoing survival thing. And I think there's also like a loot system in it. So like depending on how long you survive in that world, you then get rewards which you can use as currencies to buy things like cosmetics or extra goodies to use in game. So yeah, I'm yet to experience all of this, but I think it was going to be quite a nice play.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much as much as I can say, because like I said, I've only played about an hour of it.
Well, I think that's been quite a stacked few weeks of us just gaming and all that.
Business as usual.
Yeah. Business as usual. I guess that'll probably do us for this week. Who knows what we'll talk about next time? Who knows?
Yeah, as ever, guys, any suggestions, pop it on the Facebook or Instagram. We do take notice. Well, sometimes.
Stay safe and don't eat things which your mum and dad haven't told you to do.
Do not eat your own piercings.
Do not eat your piercings, and do not put things in your mouth which you're not meant to.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Just don't eat snow. Who the fuck eats snow?
Me as a kid.
Dave England.
No, it was Aaron McGeehee.
No, it was Dave England.
No, Aaron did it as well. He made like a snow cone.
Oh, I thought it was Dave England.
No, that was
maybe it's
Aaron.
both. I don't know.
Well, that's no way to behave.
Oh, that's cheesy.
It was ice cold, mate.
Fuck's sake, you dad joker.
That's all I bring to the table.
Oh, that was all very nice.
Fuck's sake, you guys.
Sorry, Brandon, we're giving you the cold shoulder.
You know what? As a result of this, I'm just going to melt away into existence.
No.
I think you should. I think you should put that on freeze.
As always, you can find Brandon and Chris on their Twitch. So they stream
you
very
can.
regularly.
We do, because we like doing it. We like to entertain.
Yes.
Partly why we do this.
What can they expect?
The unexpected.
And on your Twitch.
Oh,
But then they'll expect things that have been unexpected, so it becomes expected again.
so yeah, so over at twitch.tv/Sibaka, so I finished my first Pokemon Nuzlocke. I'm still going through the Pokemon Crystal Nuzlocke, which I'll be doing every Wednesday, and then every Sunday I'm also doing a Summoners War Rush Hour. But as of now, as I'm so invested into RuneScape, who knows, I might just start to stream that and just chill. Like it almost just like, you know, just while I'm farming, just, you know, come over, talk, and yeah, just have a good time.
All right. I'm going to be playing through some Telltale games. Although by the time this episode comes out, I may have done it. So
Yeah.
unless you've got a time machine, let us know how it works, because I quite like one. And then watch our streams. Or join us live. Depends how it works. I don't know. Depends what time travel rules we're working with. We're working with Back to the Future rules. We're working with Hot Time Machine rules. I don't know. Where am I going with this? I've got no idea. I'm just being... Oh dear.
Just ready to bring out another ice joke, that's all.
Well, we could use some other jokes to break the ice, I guess.
Yeah. Like always, guys. Winter is coming. It's getting colder. So stay safe.
Wrap up warm.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Yeah, catch you in the next one. Stay awesome. You good people, you.
Bye, guys. Be safe.